had a tough couple of days in the news, so here's a welcome, uplifting story. Most people know it takes a while to learn to play the piano like that. The music you're listening to, however, is coming from somebody who's just been playing for a year and a half. The parents of that 12-year-old pianist didn't know how good he was until people started telling them.
Yeah, news specialist Alex Cabrero went to meet this piano prodigy and his family and explains why his parents had no idea their son was so gifted.
That's right. You know, part of what makes 12-year-old Heston War so special is because of where he's from, Bruce and Dini. He lives in Grouse Creek, a small rural ranching community of roughly 50 people in the extreme northwest part of Utah. Now, when War started playing, it sounded good, but no one really knew how good until he started playing elsewhere. Like most boys in Grouse Creek,
where's the buckets, Dad?
Heston War starts the day off doing chores on the family ranch. Then it's on to school.
Okay, put a drop of water so it hits both of those.
Where today's lesson involves looking at hair strands through a microscope.
It looks kind of like veins.
After school, more chores, making sure all the animals are fed and taken care of.
And then once that's done, I usually do the dog food or something like that.
It's typical of what life is like in Grouse Creek. There are a lot more cows than people. That school, only 17 students total. And children learn to ride horses about the same time they learn to walk. Heston himself was named after a tractor company.
It was what I saw, behind me, the Heston baler, and in the next field over was the Heston swather just cutting hay, and we decided on his name, Heston. Of course, we thought he was going to be a rancher because that's what we are.
Yeah, Heston's life was all laid out in front of him. Take over the family farm one day, do what his dad and granddad did. But it's not what he has in mind.
It's really fun to hang out with my family, but it's just, I don't really like to do it.
Okay, you want to play the piano? You can just keep asking. We don't even have a piano,
His grandfather bought Heston his first piano, a little digital keyboard. At school, Heston had already mastered the recorder, then the ukulele.
He knew the notes by name and would go invent his own songs or figure out other songs to play and come back over the weekend to show us what he had figured out.
His parents decided to take him to piano lessons, 50 miles one way over a dirt road to Oakley, Idaho. Then they took him to a competition in Idaho.
He was one of 11 out of the 600 that was invited to come back.
That was last year. Heston had only been playing for 10 months at the time. He caught the attention of Utah State University piano professor Gary Amano, who now teaches him in Logan. His family eventually bought him a baby grand piano, and Heston just plays. He averages 5 hours on the piano every single day.
I really do need to practice that much. I have that many pieces. I have this piece, and then it's such a great honor to play with the professor.
An even bigger honor came 2 weeks ago when Heston was invited by Utah Governor Gary Herbert to play at a reception following the State of the State address.
When I was waiting, my heart was in my throat, but when I actually got to it, I'm like, this is actually not too bad.
There was Heston in his tuxedo, with tails, of course, so he can flip them over the piano bench. And there was his family, cowboy hats and all.
It's one thing to go to the Capitol building and to see the governor, but to actually be able to see your son play with the governor, it was truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
The thing is, no one can figure out where Heston's talent comes from. His parents don't have any musical background. No one in Grouse Creek, where he's lived his whole life, really plays piano.
There's only one place that it could come from. It's definitely a gift from God.
Whatever it is, Heston War is being called a piano prodigy. He wants to go to Utah State for an education, then Juilliard,
And then go all the way to London to the Royal College of Music.
Heston says he'll always feel a little guilty.
Yeah, a little bit, because I know my dad wants me to take over the ranch someday, but it's really not what I want to do, and I know my brothers and sisters, they'll want to.
We can see that there's something that's a lot different, but it's a good different, and we truly embrace it, and we love Heston for this ability and for the great culture that he's brought into our family.
Now Heston can just focus on his music. Playing piano is where he feels he belongs.
I think about the piano and I focus on what's my next note, and I'm in a whole different world.
Good job, Heston. Now, Ward says he still makes some mistakes from time to time, but he's getting better every single day and with every single lesson. Bruce and Dini?
Alex, that story was a gift, and we needed that. Thank you.
Yeah, we
that
did.
was wonderful.